There we go. Hey everyone, good evening. Sorry if you heard that last little audio wobbles. Shouldn't happen again. I alt-tabbed at exactly the wrong moment. So, good evening. How's it going? Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in tonight. Oh, good lord. All right. Anyway. All right. So, Merry Christmas. Well, it's still Christmas. I finally have my tree set up over there. In fact, if I don't know how well you can see that, but Saoirse made that for me. Made me a cute little Christmas tree for Christmas. This was a while ago, and she happened to bring it in here the other day, so I have it set up behind me. Hello, Mashed Potato Johnson. Welcome. I don't recognize your username, but welcome regardless. If you are somebody I know, like, you know, IRL or whatnot, hello and welcome. If not, hello anyway. All right, so tonight we are going back in Dragon Age. We're heading back to Castle Redcliffe, helping out Connor, the young man, boy, I guess. BioWare is not very good at differentiating ages of NPCs. But the boy who is demonically, I would say, oppressed. At least I think. I don't think it rises quite to the level of possession because it's not constant. I think. It may alternate between the two, and I'm not sure if that's entirely possible. But I don't think it's quite possession, because he has his own will at times, it seems. So again, minute little details. This is in two Thursdays ago when we were talking about this the first time. I put a lot of documents in the description of that video about this if you're really interested in the subject, the sort of real-world version of the subject. In any case, we are, like I said, on our way back. I did a little off-stream buying and selling stuff after stream last night, after it ended. In between, got a few things all set. We have a couple of gifts, just a couple, not many, that we need to give to some of our companions, such as this Black Grimoire for Morrigan. So I figure we'll start with that. Also, we have to give her an Alistair doll. Let's do that first. That's a fun one, if I recall. Then we'll be on our way back to Redcliffe. Get that done, and see where things take us. We'll probably finish that, and then go. Then we'll do probably one of the DLC quests where we get another major companion. So that should be a good time. It should be good. Also, obviously, there's been tons of stuff going on in the news, tons of stuff going on in life, so there will be plenty, I'm sure, to talk about throughout the evening as well. That is correct. Kevin brings up, we have no Kylie tonight on account of homework. Yes, I heard as well. Unfortunate. But if you, Kylie, if you are watching this back later, hello. We'll keep you in mind, and good luck on all of your assignments.
I am grateful. 'Tis thoughtful indeed.
All right. Okay, well, she didn't react to it other than to say thank you. That's fair enough. All right, let's give her the her grimoire that we got from the Mage's Tower. I think this triggers cutscene. Yeah.
What? You found Flemeth's grimoire? Ever since we discovered the condition of the Mage's Tower, I had wondered if it might be recoverable, but I had yet to speak of it to you. How fortunate that you found it on your own. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
What do you hope to find within it?
Secrets. My mother has many of them, and this tome represents the one time that they were able to get away from her. Ooh. I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be interesting.
I love that. Oh wait, I didn't get to flirt, so I'm gonna go talk to her. Cause We'll see how that goes.
I await your command.
Aw. So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But you eventually left.
Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments, the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
I see that. I will fix that. Here we go. That should be better. Sorry about that. Forgot to move us. So we were over there for Mass Effect. Now we're in our proper corner. I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
Good to hear from you. But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
But you don't need to live that way any longer.
Do I not? I am still an apostate mage, even if I have left the wilds. The Darkspawn are yet undefeated. No, there is much that remains. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality. I await your command.
I'd like to discuss something personal, sure.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
No, let's not do that. Never mind. I have a feeling that is a way of telling her to get out, so let's not do that. All right. We talked to Sten recently.
You know, maybe this isn't the best time to be thinking about this, but I've something to ask you. Chances are we'll be heading to Denerim soon. And when we're there, I wonder if we might be able to look someone up.
Yeah, that sounds right. Logain will get what's coming to him, I promise you.
No, I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. The thing is, I have a sister, a half-sister. I told you about my mother, right? She was a servant at Redcliffe Castle and she had a daughter. Only I never knew about her. I don't think she knew about me either. They kept my birth a secret after all. But after I became a Grey Warden, I did some checking and, well, I found out she's still alive. In Denerim.
That's wonderful news.
She's the only real family I have left. The only family not also mixed up in the whole royal thing. I've just been thinking that maybe it's time I went to see her. With the blight coming and everything, I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see her. Maybe I can help her. Warn her about the danger, I don't know.
If you want to, we could try.
Could we? I'd appreciate that. If something happened to her and I never went to at least see her, I don't know if I could forgive myself. Her name is Goldana, and I think she remarried but still lives just outside the alienage. If we're in the area, then, well, it's worth a look.
Right, we'll see if we can do that. Let's see. Anything new from Liliana?
Something I can help with?
Like to talk to you about something, I suppose.
Yes? What's on your mind?
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Right. But when?
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Oh, you all right?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
I could tragically misunderstand what she's saying, but let's not. There's still some life in those bones, I bet.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
You're not allowed to be done quite yet.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
All right, one last person. New here.
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
Do you need anything?
There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden. The most useful for my talents are runes.
Okay, so we can give runes for something. I'm not sure what that actually helps with, but maybe something. We're going back to Redcliffe, so let's do Morrigan.
Indeed.
Gotta do Liliana. And let's still do Alistair.
Yes.
Sounds good. Castle. Seems we're going the long way round. Oh, neat. Cutscene.
I bring word, sire. There are demands from the Banorn that you step down from the Regency. They are said to be gathering their forces, as are your allies. It appears it will be civil war after all, despite the Darkspawn. Pity. I also have an interesting report. There seem to be Grey Wardens who survived Ostagar. How, I don't know. But they will act against you. I have arranged for a solution, with your leave.
The Antivan Crows send their regards. An assassin?
Against Grey Wardens, we will need the very best, sire.
And the most expensive. Just get it done.
All right. Oh, yep, I'm going straight into it. Just to be sure. And then also, let's go with... It's just melee weapon? It's just melee weapons. Might be helpful, though. Let's go let Morrigan do it.
I shall do it.
Alright. Let's wander on in.
Rough travels out here, eh? We even saw Darkspawn on the way in.
Where are you going?
We're delivering a message to the Chantry in Denerim. You?
What's the message about?
We saw a blood mage down near the Brazilian forest. We're off to tell the Chantry about him.
Blood mage near the Brazilian forest. I mean, that's not our business, so good luck with that.
Thanks. We're heading out. Stay safe.
It's... Okay. And here I thought this was going to end badly.
Yes.
Huh.
I guess that was weird. I assume that's going to probably bite us in the ass at some point, but who knows? If it is, I don't remember how, so... Alright, let's add in. So the big news lately has been game stonks. Unfortunately, I know as little about the stock market as your next average person. So I have very little expertise to lend. Aside from kind of thinking it's all rather funny. Yeah, I know there's damage happening. And yeah, I know it's sticking it to the man. Both of those things are okay, great. One side or the other. It's clever. I gotta admire how clever it is. That's all. That's really my only input. Who do you talk to? Tegan, yeah? How about Tegan?
The mages are waiting to start the ritual.
Okay, let's talk to Jowan.
I've told you the only thing I can think of that might help. Until you make a decision, I think I should remain here.
The mages wait to perform
keep
the
an
ritual.
eye on the boy, so
I
to
do
speak.
hope this is worth the
If the
time it has
demon
taken
rears
to
its
assemble
head,
them.
I can warn these people. Really, this is the
Talking
least
over
I
each
can
other.
do. Once this is over, you or they can decide what to do with me.
Okay. Then let's talk to Irving, shall we?
Ah, there you are. We have brought lyrium and begun preparations for the ritual. We can start any time.
Do you have any last-minute advice?
It truly depends on the manner of demon. It sounds like a spirit of greed and desire, one of the more powerful in the hierarchy. It will likely engage you in dialogue and tempt you with an offer. Avoid it. Making deals with demons never turns out well.
So Abe asks, is this my first playthrough of this game? No, it's not. This is my third? Yeah, third. I played a human noble, a human mage, and now I'm doing a male human mage. The last one was female. It's just been a little while. So it's there are little bits and pieces of the interconnecting web of what causes what that slip my memory here and there. And I'm also not trying overly hard to, get the perfect world state, It's not so much my not my super goal. Plus, when we get to Inquisition, there's always the whole Dragon Age Keep thing, so we can tweak things if we want to when we get there. Kevin about Game Stonks says, I'm just sad I didn't get a heads up. If I had known, I'd be sitting on at least 100,000 right now. Yeah, like, that's why I don't pretend to be an expert on these things. If I were an expert on these things, I would be rich right now. Or really peeved that Robinhood was not allowing for trading on the relevant stocks and stuff like that. I will say, though, on that note, that's an interesting development. The companies that are shutting down small traders on the various relevant stocks. That's fascinating. Because, let's be honest, this is just a very, very simple and straightforward extrapolation from social media shutdowns. You know, shutting people out of social media, banning people, banning swaths of people, restricting the kinds of content people can post and share, the whole fact-checking thing, and hell, the things like taking Parler down, things like that. It is, honestly, it seems like a kind of information warfare. The other interesting thing about this, and I'll actually see if I can find the right clip of it that I'm thinking of, but there was quite a few people, most notably, I think, Dave Smith, who is a libertarian comedian and commentator, has pointed out, I think, really, really correctly that the last time there was a huge movement against Wall Street, last time it was by almost exclusively the left, it was Occupy. The Occupy movement in, what was it, 2008, 9, 10-ish, something like that. That got shut down. And it wasn't shut down by someone cracking down on it. It wasn't shut down by the other side coming in. It wasn't like the right didn't do anything about it. It wasn't shut down by the Wall Street types actually doing anything about it, or even lobbying the government to stop it or anything like that. None of the usual suspects. What stopped it, what took the wind out of the sails of Occupy Wall Street, was, how do we put this broadly? Woke intersectionality. Right? So, you know, when you have a bunch of people, a ridiculous number of people, chanting outside your door, you know, we are the 99%, Occupy Wall Street, all of their slogans. What do? Well, you introduce identity politics. You introduce what you would, I guess, call today wokeism. And what happened was it caused this movement to, one, fracture into a million subcategories and little pieces. People who had been united for one goal were now in a bunch of tiny little identity groups and could not work together. And then two, insofar as they could work together, they were working together for a different goal. They were no longer focused on Wall Street, no longer focused on the Fed, no longer focused on the financial system at all, and were instead focused on identity politics. The one place I can think of recently, I know Dave Smith has said on a couple of things, once when talking with Michael Malice recently, and then another time on Tim Pool's show. Both of those were great talks about this kind of subject. And I see it happening again, right? I see this happening again. This was the response of President Biden's press secretary. She said something along the lines of, in response to somebody asking a question about it, she basically just deflected the question by saying that, remember, we have a female Treasury Secretary. Okay. I used this as an example of a red herring in class because it's such a perfect example. But it's brilliant. It's probably not going to work this time because the Biden administration is so wildly unpopular. Sorry about the incense. It's going right in my face now. It's nice, though. Kevin says, I hear they're opening it back up tomorrow, probably under big pressure. You get the Ted Cruz and AOC teaming up to hate Robin Hood right now. It's wild. Yeah, I agree. But then, of course, AOC does her whole very disingenuous, you tried to have me murdered thing, which we all know is nonsense. If it were the slightest bit true, she'd be pressing legal charges, like criminal charges. Like, that's the thing that I always say about these things. I just go the Austin Peterson route and just say, call the cops. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you genuinely are, if you're, spreading accusations about somebody which are criminal, right? Incitement to violence, attempted murder, all these things are criminal charges. If you are spreading these accusations, call the cops. Do it. You won't. I said something similar in my my video from a couple years ago now. I think it's almost 2 years ago now, about the Patreon purge, where Patreon was claiming that people were, in order to ban people, right, claiming that people were doing criminal stuff on their platform and were raising money for criminal stuff on their platform. I think notably in this case it was Lauren Southern, I think, was really getting targeted by that. And of course, what do? Well, call them out on it. Look, if what they're doing is criminal, call the cops. And then, of course, when they're ultimately not arrested, nothing bad happens, then you're full of it. I'd say the same thing to AOC. Honestly, I say the same thing to a lot of the people pushing for impeachment right now. The second impeachment too. I can't say the B word in association with the impeachment too, but whatever, you get the idea. Electric. So that word's other associations. And also with a lot of the social media banning today as well. Similar, really similar. Anyway, that's some of my thoughts on the whole shebang. There's a lot going on there. My thoughts are not so much about the investing side of it, the financial side of it, because I know so little about it. It's just neat. It's best I understand it. But a lot of the sort of beneath the surface stuff going on with it is really interesting and a little bit troubling in some cases. Yeah, Kevin says, I love how the characters are just chilling there listening to you, Vince. Yeah, I'm glad that they're an attentive audience. It's like the idle screens in a Zoom class. They're just kind of there. Can't tell if they're listening, but they're kind of there. I did have a student who I will not name, so as not to embarrass the student or anything, who had to take a phone call in the middle of class, muted, but did not think to turn off the camera. And so I thought initially that this person was trying to talk to the class and had forgotten to unmute. So I was trying to figure out what was going on, and the person had to unmute, explain, and then go back to their phone call, which is a novel experience for me with the whole online-ish thing. Online-ish. Again, I'm still hybrid. At least for the time being, still hybrid. So, it's just bizarre. Anyway. So, only one person can go through. Again, into the Fade. The idea we're sending somebody into the Fade to go kick the demon's ass. Let's do it.
Yes. We haven't sufficient lyrium at present to send more than one mage into the Fade.
Let's do this now.
I'm glad we decided to take this route. This is really the best option.
Very well. I assume you are going into the Fade. Or did you have someone else in mind?
Kevin says, I'm actually doing really well in the market right now, but 40 to 45% returns, just sniping dips. Nice. Very good. I am not in the market really at all. And what with the Corona bucks and stuff, I maybe should be. Either that and or see, I don't have the attentiveness, honestly, dispositionally, really, for fast trading kind of stocks. or even for crypto, for that matter. Crypto, the reason I'm not invested in Bitcoin, and quite frankly, the reason I didn't even invest in Bitcoin back when it was like $300, my excuse was that it wasn't a currency. It's not it's too volatile. It moves around too much, which it does. I mean, it still does. But again, if I had bought one Bitcoin at $300, I'd be okay, right? I'd be pretty good right now. But that's not my point. Like I said, my main point though is just that the investment game for me, me personally managing my own investments, has always struck me as too quick. It's something I would have to pay too close attention to at too much, like too often, that I have enough trouble managing schedules as it is. I could maybe discipline myself enough to do it, but if anything I were to invest, it would probably be precious metals, which I've thought about looking into around now. Might be a good time, but that would be something. Again, though, I know very little about any part of the market. Really, it's so far outside of my my wheelhouse or even anything like my expertise. All right, I'll go.
Good. Let us get the ritual underway, then.
So, keeping in mind that neither I nor Kevin are a financial advisor per se, Kevin says if you have a few $100 and want to possibly multiply it in the next year, buy some IVR in GUSH. Just put it there and check it once a month. I'll look into that. Those are single stocks, or are those portfolios?
Is that you, Connor? I can hear you! I'm coming! Is anyone out there? Hello?
Father!
Is this,
Where are you?
Eamon?
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker.
It is Eamon. Interesting.
I don't understand. It's so cold.
You there? Have you seen my son? I can hear him, but I cannot find him. This blasted fog has me turning in circles.
Are you truly Arl Eamon or another demon?
I am indeed the Earl of Redcliffe. Why would you ask me such a thing?
Connor calls for me, and I run to find him, yet always he eludes me. Where is Isolde? Why am I here?
When Connor tried helping you, a demon possessed him.
What? Possessed? Then we must help him. Is that why you're here?
Yes, I'm here to help Connor. You must trust me.
I do trust you. We must help my son. But I can never find him in this fog. You must find Connor. Please, I beg you.
Okay. IVR is Investigo Mortgage. Okay, and GUSH is Fossil Fuels ETF. Okay. All right. Yeah, that does sound.
Curse this blasted darkness! Jesus. Why can I see nothing? Connor?
That sounds stable
Is that
enough.
you?
Yeah, that could be something. Thank you. I'll look into that. I don't exactly have hundreds of dollars sitting around, but I do have I have some money that I'm not using at the moment so much. Ironically, because of the whole COVID thing, I've actually had a weird windfall between payment deferments and payment deferrals and being able to work primarily from home and distantly-ish insofar as I do. Plus stimulus stuff, we've been okay, weirdly okay. It's still all heinous and absolutely evil that any of this is being forced to happen, but there's a bright side for me in particular, which is small consolation, I suppose.
Who are you? Are you the one that made Father ill? Tell me now.
Let's ask again. Are you truly Connor's spirit or a demon in disguise?
You could be a demon too.
You could be a demon that just looks like a person.
Let us talk calmly then and figure this out.
No! You're here to hurt Father. I know it. I won't let you.
Yeah, that's a demon, alright.
Going. Yes.
Okay, there's energy. Cool. Kevin says IVR is roughly $3 or $4 a share, 1/6 of its typical 5-year average right now, and GUSH is $50 a share, so pretty cheap. Yeah, I'd call that a dip if I've ever seen one. Yeah. I mean, it's no GameStop, but nothing is because that's absurd.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, just came through there. All right. Did we just really kill the demon? Was that it?
You're the one making Father sick.
Am I
Wasn't
dead?
it, was it?
Am I dreaming? I don't know.
Oh, another Connor. Okay, never mind.
Why do you keep hurting me? Why are you trying to stop me?
What is your purpose here? Is Connor truly amongst you?
And if I were Connor, what would you say to him?
That I seek the demon controlling him.
You will not find what you seek. Turn back now.
Obviously, you fear I will indeed find what I seek.
Trespasser! I will drive you out!
Going.
Here we go. All right.
I'll help him! You can't stop me!
Good.
Someone help
I
me!
think.
Make her have mercy!
What do I get?
Someone help me! Make her have mercy!
Is it around this way? No.
Get out of here! You have to get out! I'll stop you!
Fate
I
is
will!
really weird.
Please forgive me.
GUSH in particular has a lot of potential. Prior to the Koof times, it was trading in the hundreds, like multiple hundreds. Okay. I'm also, I don't know what app to go with to use as well. Especially what with so many of the small trading apps now going all lockdown. You've got a recommendation that's a little bit that proof. That'd be cool. I don't think you guys can hear this, but in case you can, Saoirse is having a semi-argument with Mom. Erica just yelled, "Go to bed," and she just says, "No." Now she hasn't said anything since, so I'm guessing she's going to bed. But she just had to be defiant about it.
Father was seeking me, trapped within my web. All is as it should be. Why must you interfere?
Because you interfere where you should not, demon.
Connor invited her to come, and they struck a bargain. She has every right to do as she wishes. No. It is time for you to go now. Do not persist, or things will go very badly for you.
Here we go again.
I will save for your every curve and dash.
All right.
Uh-oh. This isn't good.
Going.
Well, that was kind of close. Ooh. Oh, yeah, I forgot Robinhood had a crypto option. Kevin says, Robinhood is easy to use, but E-Trade seems more sophisticated. I think one of my banks has a thing with E-Trade. Like, there's a benefit for signing up somehow that I should look into. That might be a good one. That might be good to use. Anyone feel free to tell me to cut down on the incense if it is a problem, either on the camera, if like you genuinely can't see me, or Erica in the other room if I'm smoking the house out again. Let me know. Oh, I should have called my dog.
No more illusions. Now we meet face to face. You see my true form.
There we go.
And stand in my domain. It is here I am most powerful. And yet I have no wish to engage your power, nor should you be so eager to engage mine. Perhaps we should converse instead?
What manner of demon are you supposed to be?
I am desire. Whatever you creatures of the living world want, I seek to provide. Lust, power, greed. These are my province. Perhaps there are things you wish for. Let us pause and speak of them. It costs nothing but a moment of your time.
Okay, 2 things. 1, who the hell wears just sleeves? 2, Kevin says that I'm giving him Elon Musk vibes. How is that? I mean, thank you. I take that as high praise, but but how? What could I possibly have to talk to you about?
I possess the boy's soul. We could battle for it, or we could negotiate like civilized beings. If you are smart, you could even come out ahead.
No, not treating with demons. No discussion.
Alas, that is sad. Very well then. If you wish a battle, you will have it. Let us see if your power matches your boldness, creature.
Oh, the smoking interview on Morrigan. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. This is not the same thing as that. Oh, hello. Is that a spell barrier? Crap. The world. Alright, fine. Come here, pupper doggo.
Have at you then.
Oh, no, it didn't work. Maybe I can mana drain.
Oh, look it. What's the fight? Going. Huh. Look over there. Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Let's do this quickly, shall we? All right. Yes. And I'm off. And I'm off. Going. How amusing. Going.
Okay, that's the only one left, so let's
Yes.
freeze her.
Quick! Not enough.
Alright, maybe I can fireball. That'd be nice. Bonk. Oh, really?
All right. Yes. All right.
is a...
Yes!
Bye-bye, demon. Now that is how you handle a demon. Abe says we don't negotiate with terrorists
So
or
it is
literal
over.
demons.
Connor is his old self. He does not seem to remember anything, which is a blessing. I suppose we will need to send him to the Circle of Magi's tower for training, once the war is over. It's so odd to think of the boy as a mage, of all things. Eamon has much to mourn and rebuild should he recover. But at least he can be thankful that both his son and wife are safe.
I owe you my deepest thanks. I can scarcely believe Connor is the boy he once was.
There is still the matter of Jowan. His poisoning Eamon began this whole mess, yet he lives. I must decide what becomes of him. We will hold him for Eamon to decide his fate. If he doesn't recover, Jowan's fate is sealed. What do you think?
That's pretty fair. I mean, he was our friend. Kevin says bonk the demon with the horny stick. I ought to make one of these with a desire demon, but it kind of defeats the purpose. Why do you want my opinion?
You are a mage, and you know his faults better than anyone. I would trust your judgment.
Would you find him useful?
I would not trust him, but I would not presume to tell my brother what to do.
I don't think it's your decision to make.
What do you mean? He is responsible for many of the problems here, and is a maleficer as well.
Perhaps you're right.
Very well. I shall
Eamon.
have the mage imprisoned again for now. But our task is not done yet. Whatever the demon did to my brother, it seems to have spared his life, but he remains comatose. We cannot wake him.
The urn. The urn of sacred ashes will save
dreaming.
Eamon.
The urn's a legend, it might never be found.
That is a possibility. But there is a reason it's still an option. I am not simply grasping at straws.
My husband funded the research of a scholar in Denerim, a brother Genetivi. He has been studying the inscriptions on Andraste's birth rock. When Eamon fell ill, I sent the knights to speak to Genetivi. I hoped that he had finally discovered the location of the urn of sacred ashes itself. They were unable to locate Genetivi. In desperation, I sent more knights in search of the brother, or some clue of the urn's location.
I'll see if I can find this relic.
No one else can. Even if I wished to do it myself, I cannot abandon Redcliffe to its own devices. Perhaps you could seek out the brother's home in Denerim and see if any clues remain on his whereabouts. It is the only place to begin the search, I think. I must go to the hall and begin rebuilding. I wish you luck, and may the Maker go with you.
All right.
Yes.
Books. Oh, hey, Connor.
You're the one who saved me.
Yes, that's me.
Then, thank you. Father always said to remember to thank people who do nice things for you. I hope Father gets better soon.
He will. Won't he?
Oh, I thought we were going to be able to say something nice and reassuring, but I guess not. Alright. Well, I'm almost leveled as well. Morrigan is more than a level behind. I like that. Yeah, everyone's a little bit behind at least, so it's not too bad. Alright. Sorry about the mess.
All is well?
Yeah, okay.
Where's the tavern?
What? All right. These suits of armor attacked me last time, if I recall. There's no chance of that happening again, is there? All right. Hope not. Let's head out. All right. All right, next up, let's head to... What's it called? Not the Frostbacks. Not Soldier's Pass, was it? Lothering's Dead, not Brazilian Outskirts. Peak. I think it was Soldier's Pass. All right. I think this is right. Hold on. Let me save first, real quick. Just in case we wind up going to radically the wrong place. Let's save real quick and go to Soldier's Pass. I think this is right. I think this is where I need to go. I could look it up, but that would be all that much boring for you guys, so yeah. Oh, okay.
Sire, I have more news. Yes. Well, it seems that the fighting has gone
Enough.
exactly as you...
I would like to know what you intend to accomplish, Father. Should we not be fighting the Darkspawn instead of each other?
The nobility should be brought into line and then the Darkspawn defeated. This is no true blight, Honora. Only Kaelin's vanity demanded it be so.
Beg pardon, sire. But blight or no, we may not have the manpower to face the Darkspawn soon.
Kaelin approached your legions for support, did he
Never!
not?
Marek and I drove those bastards out! We'll not roll out the welcome for them now.
We need help, Father. We cannot deal with this crisis alone.
Ferelden will stand on its own. I will lead it through this, Honora. You must have faith in me.
Did you kill Kaelin?
Kaelin's death was his own doing.
Politics. Yeah, this is how nobility work. Oh, hey, this is where we need to save, because this is the assassination attempt, I think.
Oh, thank the Maker. We need help. They attacked the wagon. Please help us. Follow me. I'll take you to them.
Trap right ahead.
Where? Where? Okay, maybe not, I guess. Never mind.
Yes, I'm still here.
Look at that smug grin. Kill her first.
The Grey Warden dies here!
I don't agree. The Grey Warden throws a fireball at all of you. All of you.
Direct me.
That was chain lightning? Oh no, that was lightning. Uh-oh. She cast chain lightning. What am I stuck with? Paralyze. Alright, Morrigan. It's bear time.
Ooh, now the fun.
Okay. Everybody needs some health. You guys need a nice fireball. God, I love fireball so much.
Yes. Time for a little bloodletting. I see.
That's fine.
Let's do this quickly, shall we?
Oh.
Huh.
Kevin says, I have a fascination with court intrigue and politics. It's gross in real life, but in movies, books, games, etc., it feels more like an art form or a different method of spellcraft. Yeah, kind of. So, to fill in the details here, in case everyone's not fully aware, Loghain was a trusted lieutenant and friend of the previous king. That'd be Merrick. During their war, where Orlais, the neighboring country, which is basically fantasy France, tried to conquer Ferelden, this place. They drove off the Orleans. They won. And as a reward for his loyalty and his trust and his competence and everything, Merrick agreed that Loghain's daughter, Honora, who we just saw, could marry Merrick's son, Cailan, the king who we met earlier, who died. So this essentially elevated Loghain to Tairn, a sort of landed gentry, lordly status. So that's cool. Then Cailan was killed through Loghain's manipulation. Honora remains on the throne, but Loghain basically rules as her regent. Sorry. Now he is fighting a civil war with the other nobles who say he's lowborn, he's a commoner, he's also probably responsible for Cailan's death. We're not going to accept him on the throne. But there's not much of an alternative, per bloodline at least. So what do we do? Well, I don't know yet, but we fight. So that's essentially what's going on right now, and that's the sort of civil war that's happening that we're working on. Now, of course, we also do have somebody here, like this guy, who is kind of in line for the throne, although, of course, succession rules get really murky, or let's say foggy, when it comes to bastards. Because in that case, if nothing else, it's hard to prove whose father is whom, So, all right, so let's wake up this assassin who is breathing really heavily and fluttering his eyelashes at me, which is a little bit unsettling.
Oh, what? I rather thought I would wake up dead, or not wake up at all, as the case may be. But I see you haven't killed me yet.
That could be easily rectified.
Of that I have no doubt. You are most skilled. If you haven't killed me, however, you must have kept me alive for some purpose, yes?
Excuse me. You seem awfully glib for a prisoner.
It is my way, or so I am told. Let's see then. I assume you kept me alive to ask me some questions, yes? If so, let me save you time and get right to the point. My name is Zevran. Zev to my friends. I am a member of the Antivan Crows, brought here for the sole purpose of slaying any surviving Grey Wardens, which I have failed at, sadly.
I'm rather happy you failed.
So would I be, in your shoes. For me, however, it sets a rather poor precedent, doesn't it? Getting captured by a target seems a tad detrimental to one's budding assassin career.
Too bad for you, then.
Yes, it's true. Too bad for me.
What are the Antivan Crows?
I can tell you that. They are an order of assassins out of Antiva, very powerful and renowned for always getting the job done, so to speak. Someone went to great expense to hire this man.
Quite right. I'm surprised you haven't heard much of the Crows out here. Back where I come from, we're rather infamous.
Not for being good assassins, I see.
Oh, fine. Is that what you Fereldans do? Mock your prisoners? Such cruelty.
Yeah, pretty much. You came all the way from Antiva?
Not precisely. I was in the neighborhood when the offer came. The Crows get around, you see.
Okay, who hired you to kill us?
A rather taciturn fellow in the capital. Logan, I think his name was. Yes, that's it.
Does that mean you're loyal to Logan?
I have no idea what his issues are with you. The usual, I imagine. You threaten his power, yes? Beyond that, no, I am not loyal to him. I was contracted to perform a service.
Now that you've failed that service?
Oh, well, that's between Logan and the Crows, and between the Crows and myself.
What about between you and me?
Isn't that what we're establishing now?
Okay, fair point. When were you to see him next?
I wasn't. If I had succeeded, I would have returned home and the Crows would have informed your Logan of the results, if he didn't already know. If I had failed, I would be dead, or I should be, at least as far as the Crows are concerned. No need to see Logan then.
Okay. Why are you telling me all this?
Why not? I wasn't paid for silence. Not that I offered it for sale, precisely.
That's handy, I suppose. Why are you... Were you paid to talk my ear off?
Consider it something I'm throwing in for free. As it is, if you're done with the interrogation, I have a proposal for you, if you're of a mind.
Sure, make it quick.
Well, here's the thing. I failed to kill you, so my life is forfeit. That's how it works. If you don't kill me, the Crows will. Thing is, I like living. And you obviously are the sort to give the Crows pause, so let me serve you instead.
Can I expect the same amount of loyalty from you, then?
I happen to be a very loyal person. Up until the point where someone expects me to die for failing. That's not a fault, really, is it? I mean, unless you're the sort who would do the same thing. In which case I don't come very well recommended, I suppose.
Okay. What's up? It's okay point. What's to stop you from finishing the job later?
To be completely honest, I was never given much of a choice regarding joining the Crows. They bought me on the slave market when I was a child. I think I paid my worth back to them plus tenfold. The only way out, however, is to sign up with someone they can't touch. Even if I did kill you now, they might just kill me on principle for failing the first time. Honestly, I'd rather take my chances with you.
He's nothing if not practical. Won't they come after you?
Possibly. I happen to know their wily ways, however. I can protect myself as well as you. Not that you seem to need much help. And if not, well, it's not as if I had many alternatives to start with, is it?
That is handy. What do you want in return?
Well, let's see. Being allowed to live would be nice, and would make me marginally more useful to you. And somewhere down the line, if you should decide that you no longer have need of me, then I go on my way. Until then, I am yours. Is that fair?
Very well. I accept your offer, because, one, a companion, and it's a video game. I'm not going to say no. Two, he makes a really solid argument. Gotta say.
What? You're taking the assassin with us now? Does that really seem like a good idea?
Don't worry about it. We can use him.
All right. I see your point. Still, if there was a sign we were desperate, I think it just knocked on the door and said hello.
A fine plan. But I would examine your food and drink far more closely from now on, were I you.
That's excellent advice for anyone.
Welcome, Zevran. Having an Antivan Crow join us sounds like a fine plan.
Oh, you are another companion to be, then? I wasn't aware such loveliness existed amongst adventurers, surely.
Or maybe not.
I hereby pledge my oath of loyalty to you until such a time as you choose to release me from it. I am your man, without reservation. This I swear.
Oh, Liliana. I didn't even need to bonk. Brilliant. I'm switching him for you. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Alright. Hello, Zevran. Let's equip you, alright? Let's see. Ooh, he can use that. Oops. What is this? Way better. Nice. Alright. I don't have better weapons, but steel, iridium, not bad. Jason Drobes. No. Leather armor, I guess. Alright. Willpower, sure. Forget what he likes. I think it's shinies, but I'm not sure. Someone look it up if you want. Alright, cool. Sticking with him for now. Let's loot everything we can find. Alright.
Yes.
Erica says, speaking of intrigue and politics, do you want to talk about my Friday game? Because I'm going to put it out of my memory until the next time I run it. Dang, party's trying to play both sides as terribly as possible. Yeah, so, I mean, you're gonna be running it in like less than 24 hours now, so it can't be that far out of your mind at this point, unfortunately. But yeah, so this was one heck of a poorly thought out overthinking. It's not that overthinking is necessarily a very bad thing. Usually it is, but it's not necessarily. It's doing it poorly that is the biggest problem. Right. So I forgot to upgrade him. Can I? I can. He's not leveled up. I think I have to do this at camp, don't I? Anyway. So, let me just run us through the story. Erica says, no, not going the intrigue until the next time I run the entire module for a new party.
Right.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean. Okay, so from here on in, it's straightforward, you know, adventuring and dungeon diving and stuff like that. I understand completely. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, with this party, I do agree. Yeah, that's probably smart. This got kind of nuts. So basically, I might as well do the long version, right? We got time. Let's talk to this guy and then I'll start going through the long version.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
Part of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
It's an Orlesian name. I'm Dalen, pleased to meet you.
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
What do you need?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
What's the catch?
The catch? Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
Sure.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the golem down south, in a town called Honleith. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
And if it doesn't?
Maybe you could look up the fellow who owned the golem before. If he's still about, that is. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
Weird that he just kind of gave it to us, but okay, fine. Lego. Anyway, so let's go and do that. Let's go down to Honleith. So basically the problem, right? The problem they needed to solve. They came in was it had to do with one of the characters' backstories, bringing in a sort of former commander from our soldier turned monk character. Ooh, wait! I love this.
How did a child survive that? The crater is still smoking. It's a boy. 5 fingers, 5 toes. That's all that matters to me. The Maker has answered our prayers. Let's go home, Marta, and raise the tyke as our own.
Marta! Meteor metal. Interesting. Okay. Well, a child fell on an asteroid or something and was found by a pair of farmers in the backwoods of Ferelden, I guess. Yeah, apparently that's Superman. I really just want that to come back at some point. I really, 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 really want that to come back at some point. Like Clark Kent, Kal-El, whatever. Take your pick. So, I've talked a little bit about the move. Again. Oh, that's a very bad sign. Guys. Target him with it. There we go.
Right.
Begin the onslaught.
And I'm off.
Victory.
All right. Yes.
There we go.
Where do I go?
Got him. So the world setting is basically a sort of proto-Christian, I guess you'd call it sort of Old Testament times, monotheist world, where there is God, or in this context maybe like the maker or the equivalent, right? And it's explorers going to a new world across the sea. There's a lot more to it. I guess there's some mystery to it, the backstory of the world and stuff that they're gradually uncovering and all that stuff.
This should be good. You will not fear me. Too easy.
All right.
We are victorious again.
Here we go. But the basic idea of what I'm going for is colonizing type thing, exploring the new world, encountering the pagan natives, civilizing, but with sort of high medieval, sort of high fantasy type social and technological levels. Everything more or less, organized by the church, basically that kind of thing. So we go to in the new world. We go to a let's see if I can open this. Nope, key required. All right. We leave the main port city and we leave for a do I need cunning? I really don't need cunning. I need constitution. Yeah. Inferno. Ooh. Kind of cold. All right. I'm actually really torn on some of this stuff, so I'm thinking about regeneration, always good. I'm thinking about force field, which is nice. Eventually getting to crushing prison, which is amazing. This one's not great. It's okay. It's not great. But that one's amazing. Yeah, crushing prison's really good. Firestorm's great though. It's a giant AoE thing. Cone of Cold is nice. You can freeze things solid in a big group. Let's do Inferno. And let's show off what it does. First of all, it's real big. Let's put it over there. Yeah, I should have known. My inner pyro is just really happy with this. I love it. Ah, that's nice. All right, let's move on. It's still going. That's crazy. Anyway. Right. So, what I was saying. They go to this smallish logging village away from the main port to sort of figure out what's going on in various different places and help people out where they help people out. They're basically doing adventurer stuff on their way to do some, some actual quests that involve things like ruins and yada yada yada. Point though, the point where they get to is
It's your time to die.
Okay.
Going.
This little logging has been having issues with a few different problems, right? Yeah, I'll finish the story by the end of the stream, I'm sure.
No mercy. Fall.
The problem, the main problem, and the problem that this is most relevant to, is that there's a logging company, an old world logging company, that is trying to get more and more land, basically buy/finagle more and more land from local native tribes. The local native tribes, by contrast, don't exactly have property norms. So the logging company has been taking advantage of them with help from their chief enforcer.
Yes.
Who happens to be the old commander of one of our party members. Who, again, ex-soldier turned monk, that kind of thing. And so, what we see is there's kind of an attempt to let's say there is an attempt to expand the property of the logging company. Done by this enforcer, by basically moving property markers illicitly. Now, more political tomfoolery, which Kevin, you'll enjoy. The mayor of this town is an old character of mine, a character I've used in various settings as well. He's a most prominently, the place I've used him most often is as a CHIS counterintelligence agent in various Star Wars settings and such. He's very Thrawn-ish, but more underhanded. So, yeah. He's the mayor of this town, the governor of this area. His wife is the daughter of the chief of the local tribe, both elves. Right? So, the daughter of the chief, the mayor's wife, attacks the enforcer for encroaching on their territory. Unfortunately, the chief disavows her actions because they don't have property norms, like I mentioned. And the mayor is basically forced to arrest both of them, and is threatening execution just all around until the player characters, until the party can resolve things, figure out what's going on. So, because he is a very, very, very orderly and lawful type of guy. He's a paladin. order domain and all of this. He's very paperworky. So, that's interesting. Basket's almost empty. Most of the bird seems to be scattered around, I guess. Villager.
Going.
And so, naturally, naturally the players try to play both sides of things and try and resolve everything that they can. So they go to the mayor. The mayor explains the situation and wants help trying to figure out what the enforcer was doing. Try and get evidence that the enforcer was doing something illicit, illegal, so that he can pin it on the logging company. Right? So that the implication being that then the enforcer wouldn't be executed, then the blame would go to the logging company instead of his employer instead of him, that whole thing. Okay, cool. So then they go to try and gather evidence from the logging company and instead decide to agree to help the owner of the logging company hide evidence because they think that will help the enforcer, who is the former commanding officer, the former commander of one of the party members. So they've agreed to help both sides in contradictory ways. So then what do? Do they go and do the thing and conceal the evidence on behalf of the logging company guy? No. They go back and meet the mayor and explain that they're going to go and verify the locations of these property markers. Verify their locations. Meaning, of course, really lie, cheat, steal, move, misdocument, all that. And so him being not an idiot, and because I really wanted to hear the shock, fear, and surprise in the voices of my players, the one in particular whose backstory this involves, he just matter-of-factly takes up his sword, puts it on his belt, and starts going along with them into the forest so that they can't do anything underhanded or untoward. Basically, this shook them into being upfront about everything and more or less helping him, the mayor, instead of the logging company guy. And now, eventually, after, 4 sessions? Eventually, they solved this problem by, again, proving that it was the owner of the logging company that was ordering all of this without the enforcer's knowledge of what exactly he was doing. He just didn't ask any questions. And so ultimately, this ended with both the enforcer and the player character who was his protege years ago in the stocks for a day, having tomatoes and pies thrown at them because it basically both admitted to fault sometime along the way. Oh yeah, everyone fails the save for Zone of Truth, which the Paladin Mayor casts to get everyone to just stop being idiots. It's not even like stop lying, it's just like, you're lying so poorly I can tell, just please stop. Just boop, Zone of Truth spell. And everyone fails except the mayor and the NPC who is a Firbolg, so he's a Fey giant, and he doesn't really lie anyway, so whatever. It was delightful. Also, there was an opportunity for a jailbreak. They could have done a jailbreak and then been wanted criminals on the entire continent and fundamentally changed the course of the campaign in a very interesting but unforeseen direction that we had to scramble and prepare for. Erica and I, running the game, had to scramble and prepare for just in case these lunatics decided to actually do it. Or try to do it. WizKid is in this campaign. He's just not here. The statue appears to be inert. Continue.
What we are looking at is a golem. It would appear it is defunct, though there may be a way to revive it yet.
On closer inspection, you see the statue is embedded with numerous crystals. Some of them cracked. It may be of dwarven make. Dulef Gar. Nothing happens. Apparently either the rod is not working or the code word is incorrect. Okay, fine. Now what? Let's go to... Wait, let's go to that locked door. We just got a key. I bet that goes to it. Erica says the insanity that my player wanted to pull that jailbreak was frightening. And he had the absolute nerve to present... okay, so he's also running a game, which we just started. There's only been like a couple of... we've only done like a couple of sessions. He had the absolute nerve... Ooh, that's nice. Let's go into Zevran. He had the absolute nerve to put us in a situation where we could have totally TPK'd. Total party killed, if you don't know the term. We could have totally TPK'd. If we had been, if we did not, basically if we didn't surrender, we would have completely, everyone died. Because of course, that's a fair thing to put in front of us. Especially given that there is also somebody, this is the same guy who almost did that. Oh yeah, also now we're in a jailbreak scenario in that other game, so we're trying to figure that out.
Where's the tavern?
That's we're playing that game on Sunday. So if anybody has run jailbreaks and you have ideas for how a I mean, we have tons of ideas. Maybe it's a help us narrow it down kind of thing. Maybe because we have a warlock. We're level 5. We got a warlock. We got a rogue, a psychic rogue. We got a druid. We got a cleric, and we've got a barbarian, a wild magic barbarian. Hooray!
Huh.
We're a zoo. We are a zoo. Interesting. Interesting.
Going.
Crystal.
And I'm off.
No, I don't want to break
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Yes, please do. No, you can't do it either. Stop. Do you have lockpicking even? You don't even have lockpicking. Darn it. It's stealth, but no lockpicking. Alright, fine.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
No, you can't. Anyway. Soul Knife? Wait, that's what I thought. I thought Soul Knife was the dead one, the death one. Erica says Erica says Soul Knife is the best rogue class. I love it so much. I'm playing Twisted Fate in D&D and it fits so perfectly. I agree. It's wonderful and spectacular. Let's Firestorm. Yeah, right there. I got interrupted. I'm mad. Everyone fall down. No, everyone be on fire.
Good drooling and say some digger. You cannot win.
Oof, I'm getting hurt.
It's your time to die.
Oh, this should be fun.
Oh, I need to switch to one.
I am done with that one. Let us end them.
Sorry, Alistair.
Oh, this should be good. I cannot be defeated.
Oh no, he's fine. I have friendly fire off, I think. Yeah, oh, that's right. I'm thinking of Phantom. Yeah, Phantom is the death one. They're the two new classes. They're both pretty good. Phantom's neat. I'd like to try it someday. It'd be cool. We just did a one-shot, little one-shot campaign this week. A module called Hekna. It's kind of like a haunted carnival thing. And I played Giles, basically from Buffy, as a warden. Oh no, sorry, as a Watcher Paladin, another new class. Used to be the revived rogue, Unearthed Arcana. Didn't know that. I don't follow Unearthed Arcana because I don't use it. It's not... I mean, it's obviously it's for playtest, and it's obviously for playtest because a lot of it's unbalanced and broken.
Going.
Huh. Although Revised Rogue was good. Revised Rogue was good. Or Ranger, sorry, Revised Ranger was good. But yeah, basically playing the character of Giles was a lot of fun. Oh, special brew, nice. Ooh, that's unpleasant. Oh, there's more. All right, here we go. How do I do this? I'm gonna Firestorm. We're done.
Run while you can.
Yes.
Oh, that was great. That was great. Okay, anyway. Love that. Right.
And I'm off.
Anyway, that was fun. A lot of fun. Okay. Terrifying. Way out. So yeah, that was that's been a good time.
And I'm off.
Let her. Madam, I assure you the Circle of Magi is not a sacrilegious institution, and that indeed we operate under the full supervision of the Chantry. It would make our investigation into your husband's death much easier if you would simply cooperate with us. I'm disappointed to hear that you sold the Golem's activation rod. I understand both it and your husband were of invaluable aid to King Marek during the war against Orlais. Without the rod, we cannot discern whether Wilhelm's Golem was responsible for his murder. The golem will simply have to remain where it is unless the villagers can find a means to destroy it. Our condolences to you and your son for your loss. I imagine it is of little consolation to you, but your husband is much admired here and will be missed. First Enchanter, Arlen. I don't know who Arlen is. Someone must be the previous First Enchanter. Let's see what's up here.
By the Maker, we're saved!
You weren't sent by the ban, were you? To save us?
No, I'm a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Here! Thank the Maker for our luck! But if you weren't sent by someone, why are you here? If you don't mind me asking.
Can't tell if that's all black or if that's just a, visual glitch. Yeah. I'm looking for whoever owned that statue outside.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for Shale.
Oh, you're a mage.
That damnable golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance!
That's gotta be a visual glitch. So you're saying the golem's defective?
How should I know? It must be. My father was its master, and it still killed him. Surely that's not normal behavior. My father's name was Wilhelm. Mage to the Isles of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais. And what did he get? One day, my mother found him outside the tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and shale standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake Shale up, well, it's yours now.
Except the rod doesn't work. Nothing happens.
My mother might have passed along the wrong command phrase when she sold the rod. She said she never wanted to see Shale active again. Look,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the command phrase, but I'll need your help first. I know you already saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
What killed this man and went after her?
There are defenses my father put down here to keep strangers out. I knew about the barrier. I had the key for that, but the rest of it, well, we never came down here.
Oh, he's not
ever.
a mage. Guess he's not a mage. He just has the key for a magical barrier. Okay, fair enough. I guess that's a thing you can do. All right then. How do you even know she's? I'm not going to ask that. That's really mean. I'll see if I can find her.
You will? Thank the Maker! My father's laboratory is just past the next area, I think. She has to be there.
All right. Another kid in trouble. And spiderwebs. It's not a good sound. I don't like that sound. Excuse me. Well, that's awful. Put it down right there.
Huh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't do that. Oh, darn it. Firestorm is a problem. Oh, no. Alright, hold on. Reload. Good thing it just auto-saved. Alright. Let's jump in. Anyway, so, another thing that's just been going on recently, I figured I should feel like talking about. Class-wise, I apparently had a student complain to the dean that my face is not covered in the classroom. Now, I'm a little surprised because, you know, I thought.
All right.
I thought that St. Leo was a bit more had a bit more of a sane community than say USF did, which is where this happened before. But hey, WizKid, welcome. We were just talking about your wacky, crazy exploits in D&D. Yours and everybody else. But oh, are they immune to fire? Oh, don't be immune to fire. You might be immune to fire. I really hope they're not immune to fire. Anyway, so I got angry contact from my dean, unfortunately, about you know, policy and yada yada, all that. Ring. Ooh, that's nice. Which really is really unfortunate. I replied back, I think rather cordially am talking about possible alternatives, because once again, I mean, it's uncivilized, first of all, but more importantly, it would make my ability to teach much more difficult, especially through Zoom, because most of what we're doing is pseudo online, because I'm doing the whole hybrid thing, right? And so I am in the room with 4 or so, like 2 to 4 students, while also talking to 20 or so more in the magic screen, which is more or less my nice. Which is my my sort of hybrid model. Trouble is that same problem I experienced last semester. It's very difficult for the online students to hear me as is, let alone if I'm talking to them, especially from a fair distance. No. So I'm in the classroom. I'm in a classroom with, 1/10 of standard capacity of the room. Standard capacity is 52, so it's less than a tenth. Less than a tenth. So naturally, it's absurd, as one knows, as we know. I'm not doing this from right here. If it were from right here, then probably nobody would care. And if they did, I don't think they could say anything about it. But no, it's what's funny about this. And again, like I said, I responded and emailed the dean. Let her know the problems that we would be having otherwise, and if there are alternatives like rearranging the classroom, moving the classroom, whatever. Especially because I'm, again, like I said, almost certain that I have had and recovered from the coof, so that's another absurdity to all this, and also that my students are aware of this, which is another absurdity. Also, I would probably bet, maybe not much, but I would bet that it was more than likely one of my students who was not physically in the classroom, especially because there were like 6 or 7 total today between my 2 classes. Yeah, it's the big thing is it's what troubles me about it okay, there are 2 things that trouble me about this. One is fear of faces. We're being conditioned to be literally afraid of seeing other people's faces, which is incredibly detrimental to society, especially for young people. Like, and I don't mean college young people. I mean kids, like kids, like kids, like in the other room kind of kids, who are, again, like I said, being conditioned to be afraid of other people's faces, which is gonna have very, very detrimental long-term consequences that will be a nightmare for generations to come, or at least this generation in particular. So there's that. The other thing, though, is this sort of conditioning to snitch, to tell on people, and more specifically, to go over people's head to tell on them. Right? Not to bring something. Not when you have a conflict or when you have a concern, you don't bring it to the person you have the conflict or concern with. You call the cops, so to speak. The ironic part of this, the part that I find actually funny, is that I literally used this as an example on Tuesday. So we were talking about arguments. What makes a good argument? What makes a bad argument? And to that end, we watched what I usually will show in class, which is a skit from Monty Python's Flying Circus called Argument Clinic. If you've seen it, then you might know what I'm talking about. If you haven't or haven't in a while, I'll put a link in the description, or you can just search Monty Python Argument Clinic. It's on YouTube here and there. Basically, it's a guy who, with the weird Monty Python shtick, is going into a shop, or a service counter, to have an argument. And he goes into various rooms and does a bunch of things which are not actually arguments. One of which is getting hit on the head lessons, which is the last room. It's like, this isn't argument. This isn't a room for an argument. This is getting hit on the head lessons. Hitting him with a hammer, or bonk, so to speak. And then the cops get called for because that's the way that Monty Python ends a sketch. And so I pointed out that, look, so among the things that we saw that are not arguments, because that was a big thing we were looking at, one of them is violence, right? Violence, or the threat of violence, and the specific examples I used were, so, not just, hitting somebody or threatening to beat somebody up, but also things like calling the police, or like, I'm going to report you to the dean, which is literally the words that I said in the classroom on Tuesday. Those are not arguments, right? Those are just trying to assert power over somebody to get them to do something that you want them to do, not getting them to actually understand or agree with your point of view. We see the delicious irony. WizKid says they're trying to condition our children both to be afraid of us and to snitch on their own parents. Very Orwellian. Very literally Orwellian. And, also very literally Soviet. Very literally Soviet. I essentially, I'm at the point where I can't trust my class. There's no relationship of trust between teachers and students at this point. Or between neighbors. Or between parents and children. Another parents and children thing we saw a lot of like millennial kids who were calling the FBI on their parents who were at the Capitol protest, which is just utterly heinous and disgusting. Again, it's very, very Soviet, which has me concerned.
What do you mean you've never climbed a tree? Don't cats like to be in trees?
This is interesting.
Oh look, someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
Good, you're safe. Your father was worried.
Father? Oh, you can tell him I'm fine. Maybe he'll come and stay with us, too. Anyway, you should go if you're not going to play. Kitty finds you distracting.
Sure, let's leave. You can bring the cat.
I can't go. Kitty says she can't come, and I'm not leaving her. She'd be lonely.
I would not suggest leaving in such hostile company anyhow, Amalia. Look how they act.
Okay. It says I really, really hate millennials. Have I ever mentioned that? Hey! Unfortunately, I am one. Despite agreeing with you. That's, anyway, that's not really a cat, is it?
Of course she's a cat. She just talks, that's all.
Talking is simple enough, once you know how.
Right. What are you really?
I am a cat, really. Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
Yeah, demon cat. I tend to agree. What have you done to her?
I have done nothing. I am all but powerless. The mage made sure of that, didn't he? I cannot leave this chamber. No, Amalia found me. After decades of isolation, her company is welcome. It seems we are at an impasse, so let me propose a compromise of sorts. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever.
You mean possess her?
That's such a crude way of putting it. I do not wish to harm Amalia. I merely want to see your world through her eyes. Is that so wrong?
I'll let you go, but you need to leave the girl.
But I do like this one.
I like you too, Kitty.
But if it means escaping this prison, I am willing to leave on my own. I agree to your terms. The mage's wards hold me within this chamber, and only a mortal may approach them. There is a trick to disarming the wards, but I do not know it. Perhaps you will succeed where the girl failed.
Oh, this is so exciting! Kitty is going to be free! I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
Why doesn't she just stay a kitty? That'd be fine. Alright. This sucks. It's a slide puzzle. Alright, everyone get off, because otherwise it's gonna burn everybody alive. Just Dalen. Alright,
I like it when Kitty sings to me.
No, that's not right.
Going.
Father doesn't like cats, but he never met Kitty.
Okay. Okay.
Going. All right. Yes.
Kitty says Grandpa Wilhelm locked her up in this room.
Oh.
Isn't that awful?
Eddie, go away. I agree. This is probably going to be a puzzle, literally. I mean, it's not like you can learn all that much from... I'm on fire. From watching the specifics. Alright. Not that one. I need this one.
Kitty is my best friend.
Alright. Whoosh.
Yes. And I'm off. Huh.
Alright. That means I need that. That.
All right. Huh.
I was thinking about the sun, silly.
And I'm off.
Oh, crap.
Huh. Yes. And I'm off.
Tell me a story.
And I'm off.
Ow.
Going. And I'm off. All right.
Oh, it's a flower. Is it a daffodil? I like daffodils.
Okay.
Huh. Huh.
Tell me a story.
Yes. All right. Huh.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a cat, and Kitty is so perfect and pretty.
Okay, I think I got it. Darn it, no I don't.
Huh. Yes.
There we go. I think I got it. Holy crap. Wizkid says I'm bad at these kinds of puzzles anyway, don't worry, and I'm off.
I like daffodils.
It's okay. I've got a Pokemon rock sliding puzzle for the second graders for you guys. Yay!
Yes.
Oh, God. All right.
I can feel the magic fading.
Bye, Cat Demon.
Oh, I had
Eddie, you can
forgotten
come
how
back, we're
it
done.
feels not to be caged.
Kitty? What's happening?
A wonderful thing, my dear, for both of us.
Oh, jeez. And where will you go after this?
Anywhere. I have changed my mind. I
course you
like
have.
the girl. I do not think I will find another like her.
Oh, so I get to go with you after all?
Nope.
Ugh, I will take her anyhow. She
Just
is
stay a
mine.
cat.
Kitty, you're scaring me. I won't let you inside me. I won't.
Well, that's good. Just stay a cat. Gotta bonk another one. Oh, crap. Pulse. Mana. Heal everyone.
Oh, this should be good.
I can taste your
It's bear time.
Let's finish this.
And I'm off.
You were right. You were right. It's even a thought demon.
Not bad at all. I think we work well together.
Chord of Shattered Dreams. I mean, that's good. The other one's better. It'll be good for somebody. Helm of Honleaf. Oh, 2 to all attributes. Damn. Alright, Alistair. How about that? Morrigan is a bear. How about you unbear? Here. What? Spooter for a second. Ah. Okay, unspooter? You're a bear! Okay, this is weird. Stop. Catch on fire a little bit? No. Okay. I'm really scared. I don't like this. I don't like this. Oh, you're back. Okay, we're good. Jesus. Switch. Let's do that. Okay. Hold on, Leaf. Oh yeah, that's better in most ways. Looks good too. Templar armor. It is better. Templar. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Not going to do the Templar helmet. Erica says, imagine Mooney, who is our druid. Our halfling druid. Imagine that happening to him. Oh, that would be terrible. Thane helmet. It's heavy. It's not a good idea. Can you wear the damn... Where's that? It requires 20 strength? It's light armor. That's irritating, but whatever. Alright, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that'd be kind of wacky, having that happen to Mooney. Just become a weird, twisted bear with legs all... Why is there... What? That's why they're screeching.
And I'm off.
Oh, crap.
How amusing.
Wait,
If you insist.
I'm done with that one.
I accidentally left my party behind. That was bad. That was almost bad. Alright, let's go. Alright. Oh, wait, book. Ooh. Enchanter Wilhelm. If, that's, you know, when wild shape goes wrong, that's what happens. That's how it works. Get all wiggly wiggly.
Behind you!
No mercy! You cannot win! Ha-ha! Too easy.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I'm slowed. Why am I slowed? I don't like this.
You did it! You freed her! Thank you so much!
I'm sorry I ran away, Daddy. I was so
We're
scared.
doing a lot of
It's
saving
all
children
right,
from demons
Butterfly.
tonight.
You're safe now. All the bad creatures are gone. The phrase to activate Shale is Dulan Han. If you still want that bloody thing. I wouldn't if I were you. Now we should go, and quickly. Thank you again. We owe you our lives.
Alright. Cool. So let's go. Let's get out of here. And let's go get us a golem. Golem? 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 Whatever. Stoneman. Let's level up Morrigan first. Magic. Ooh, could do a swarm. Or we could do Cone of Cold, which is really nice. Or Entropy. We can keep going with Entropy. Ooh, Sleep is good. Oh, Sleep is real good. Let's do Sleep. Yeah, Sleep. Ooh. They can't resist the horse. Oh, that's such a good combination. Heck yeah, we gotta do it. WizKid says either's okay for the pronunciation. That's okay. Dulan Harn. Golem, so you say? I prefer Golem to differentiate from, you know, Gollum. The ex-Hobbit.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And of course, it is another mage. That is what it is. Yes? Yes. Just my luck.
Hello to you too.
I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
Then one wonders that you wouldn't be grateful to the one who allowed you to stretch your legs, Gollum.
Another mage, I see. Charming. I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
I take it that wouldn't concern you.
Familiarity breeds contempt, as they say, and after 30 years as a captive audience, I was as familiar with these villagers as one could possibly be. Not that I wish their fate on them, no. But it did make for a delightful change of pace.
That's horrible, honestly.
Still better than dull. Well, go on then. Out with it.
What is its command?
Do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Gollum. Gollum, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Gollum and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Gollum, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I'm awake, so it must.
It's something wrong.
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
Should I? Okay, no. Give Zevran a hug.
I don't appreciate foreign objects invading my personal space. Well, usually.
And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is broken.
So what now? You go on a killing rampage?
Don't be ridiculous. Well, I wouldn't mind killing the birds. Those evil birds and their foul droppings. I could crush them all. I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means I have free will, yes? It is simply, what should I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose. I find myself at a bit of a loss. What about it? It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me?
So WizKid says, I mean, a golem is, by its nature, supposed to be completely bound to the one who created it, so very true. And I think that actually fits here, right? Shale here is having a bit of an existential crisis, it would seem, not being under the control of the rod, essentially the will of its creator, to sort of extended through time, right? And so it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't have any particular goals. It doesn't have any knowledge of what to do with free will, if it has it. And so it's just sort of there, asking for advice, I guess. Which, I mean, realistically is what any of us would do if we suddenly were able to do something after being unable to do anything for maker knows how long, right? Our golem here for at least, 30 years? Standing in place, being shat on by pigeons? That's gotta suck, right? So, I can think of many uses for a personal golem.
May I ask what sorts of things it gets up to for which I could be so potentially useful?
I'm a Grey Warden in need of aid against the Blight.
It refers to the Darkspawn, the very creatures that destroyed this village. The Darkspawn are an evil that must be destroyed, it's true, though not as evil as the birds. Damnable feathered fiends. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go elsewhere? I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
Are you going to keep calling me it?
Yes, very likely.
Oh, thanks. You killed your former master.
Did I? I remember that I had a former master. The mage with the furry brows who poked and prodded and barked orders. Did I kill him? I hope I did kill him. Perhaps the last order he barked was, Gollum, stop crushing my head. Ah!
I notice you don't call him it.
Yes, I'm just funny that way.
Okay, what do you want to do? WizKid says, I can't fathom that. Having sentience but no will of my own, or ability to act in the world act in the world of my own accord. It seems like it would be... Yeah, it's difficult to imagine. It's difficult to think of. I think it can be conceptualized. Again, you can think of it, but it's very difficult to imagine what that would be like. Right, to act in a phenomenologically real sense, act, but not decide how to act. Right? It seems like those two things, and I would argue correctly, That those two things are so intrinsically tied together that separating them out is basically impossible, right? Acting is choosing. There is no excuse me, there's no way to pull those apart far enough to drive a wedge in between them such that you could act without choosing. It would, I suppose, be the most like a kind of habituation, maybe. Right? In which case we do kind of act without choosing. Right? But even then, we still voluntarily do things. It's not like it's just... It's not like I do it while it also just happening, right? These are two completely different modes of acting. And again, this comes back to... I'll point you to my my SCOTUS reading group playlist. And the sort of short summary video on stomachs and wills. This is what an advisor of mine refers to as the stomach principle, that there's two kinds of things like stomachs and things like wills. The only thing like the will is the will. It is a rational thing, and so that means it's indeterminate. It determines itself rather than being determined by antecedent causes, antecedent factors. Right? A stomach, your digestive powers are always going to act to their fullest extent, no matter what. However, your voluntary, rational powers are going to act as they act. Fully, not fully, one way or the other. And it's up to you. So, of all the philosophers on this subject, I do think that for all of his apparent faults that some people point out to me, fine. I think Duns Scotus does a wonderful, wonderful job of pointing out the importance of the will and the uniqueness of the will, and how it's so intrinsically tied to human action that we just, like you said, we can't imagine not willing to acting without willing. So let's intensify its existential crisis. What do you want to do?
I watched this village for so long, unable to move or act. My memories of anything before are vague at best. So I have no idea what I want to do. I'm glad to be mobile. Is that not enough?
You're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us?
Yes.
It could be dangerous. And large.
Exactly. Think of it as a portable battering ram.
Good point. Better it than me, anyhow.
I will follow it about, then. For now. I am called Shale, by the way.
Shale, is that supposed to be a joke?
Not like standing frozen for 30 years while pelted with bird feces. Now that is a joke.
Well, okay then. How about instead of Alistair, Shale joins us? Shale? I want you to join. You can't. Wait.
Blast and damnation.
Indeed. Blood and damnation.
Yes.
Come on, Shale. Alistair? Dog? Stan?
Yes. Vashaden.
Braska.
Can't I bring either?
Yes.
There we go. Shale. Jesus. Finally. WizKid says, I am that I am. Being and doing are largely one and the same from an experiential point of view. Hey, careful with the blasphemy there. That is a divine name that you're uttering. Alright, let's skedoodle. What did she disapprove of? Whatever. Anyway, it's fine. Right. Let's get out of here. Oh my god. Alright, let's go back to camp for right now. We need to equip we need to do some equipping and stuff.
Now that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe.
Oh, okay. I think it turned out quite well, don't you?
I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Arl's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. It makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something.
I know what you meant.
No matter how small. I owed the Arl that much.
So WizKid says, I mean, I didn't mean it in that way. I just think that the line really highlights how intrinsically tied being and acting are. Yeah, and SCOTUS argues that that close tie of our being and our acting and our willing, that this is the primary component of the Imago Dei, of the image and likeness of God that we instantiate, that we bear, we participate in. So yeah, I think it's not blasphemy so long as it's analogous, right? So long as you're pointing to the analogy of it, which I think you are. So I take you to be pointing to, that as a statement about human beings and their analogy, or I should say our analogy, to the divine life. Which again, I think SCOTUS gets this really solidly right, brilliantly, in fact. If we can stop the blight, we'll save much more.
You're right. Hopefully, by that time, there's still enough of Arlen left to save. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments. Oh, wait, it's not Tuesday, is it?
Wait, what? No, dude, no. Listen, you. All right. I can't level anyone up in camp, can I? Sten needs a level up or two. He's fine. Shale as well. Shale has some cool powers. I really like Shale. No, I can't do that. All right. Once again, I forget what things are for whom. That I know is for Shale. It likes those sorts of things.
Ooh, shiny.
Can I give that? No, just the remarkable ones. Oh, wait. There. Let's do spirit damage for now. That'll work. This kid says, I am lol. I don't know what that means. Kidding. Honestly, I think that's probably my favorite line in the entire Bible. It really exemplifies what, and for that matter, who God really is, at least insofar as our understanding of him. I interestingly, my favorite line of the Bible is probably for the same reason, but it's a completely different verse. And that would be John 1:1. I absolutely love just generally the whole prologue to the Gospel of John, for the same reason that you like that verse from
Are you
Exodus.
sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings, perhaps? A cheese knife?
That's weird. Where do these goods come from, Bonan? Not the deep roads.
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tithes, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
Ah, I see.
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
I suppose it's better than having the Darkspawn take it all.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
This kid asks, is that the dude from Dragon Age 2? Yeah. These two will eventually find their way to Kirkwall, and if I remember, he becomes Hawke's house servant, and his son becomes the sort of the household enchanter, because his knack for enchantment. All right, well, let's see your wares, Bodan.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
All right, discount is nice indeed. All right, so let's go sell some things real quick. No, not very good. Just one. Scale armor. It's high tier. Very high tier. No one in the party uses medium armor. Honestly, I can sell that. Caddis. Okay, I can sell one of these. Sell that. Flawed. Chipped. Well, lightning crystal I can sell. Keep those. Buckle of the Winds. That's decent. I'll keep it for now. Greenstone I can sell. Junk. Excellent. Keep some of these things. It's kind of crap. I should just start using these poisons. I need to save up for these two, the books. Ooh, I should buy the backpack. Really should. It's 7 gold. It's kind of a lot. Anything in here I can just sell now. Viridium longsword. Do I need that? Anyone need that? No one needs that, right? No. I can sell it. Yeah, alright. I definitely need that backpack. So, buy it. Alright, that increased my carrying capacity. Just what I wanted. Right. I'll eventually be getting these, I think, for my various teammates. But for now, that should do. Oh, let's do some enchantment. Enchantment. All right. Oathkeeper. Yeah. He needs a spell resistance.
Enchantment.
I love him. All right, cheese knife. Crow dagger. Beastman's dagger. Who is this? Liliana has it. All right, cheese knife. Yeah, cheese knife. Lightning, frost.
Enchantment.
Crow dagger. Flame. Okay, Cool. Everything's magicked. I love the kid. He's great. All right, let's go ahead and talk to some people for now. Eventually, like I said, probably off stream, I'll look up what gifts go to whom. Unless somebody wants to look up a gift guide and tell me who likes... What is it? I know who likes these. We don't have him yet. But this, the small gold bar. I think it's Zevran. But I'm not sure. If somebody wants to look it up, feel free. And let me know. Alright, let's go talk to Morrigan. She has a nice setup over here. You know?
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you
So, full of questions, are you?
How did you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Should I say that? That's kind of mean. I can't tell if that's supposed to be sarcastic or not. I don't trust Dalen for that to make that be sarcastic. Your mother's been doing this for a long time, though.
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Cool. I also love that, because it's also very related to the whole discussion we were having with Shale about sort of phenomenology of experience and weird alien experiences. Because again, we know what it's like to be humans, right? We intrinsically cannot and do not and cannot know what it's like to be some other kind of creature, right? We don't know what it's like to be a spider or a bear. To go with, for example, Thomas Nagel, a philosopher of mind and political theory, pointed out that we in his essay, a pretty well-known essay, What Is It Like to Be a Bat, pointed out that we really, I'll see if I can find it and put it in the description, points out that we really can't know what it is like to have a radically different experience from our own, like that of an animal. We can't know it sort of from the inside. We can't have its qualia, in other words, its qualitative experience. And so because of that, there's this sort of experiential or phenomenological gap that is unbridgeable, except apparently in this case by magic, which is very, very cool. It's very cool. You spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
What do other animals think of you when you're changed?
They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask.
Can anyone become a shape-changer?
Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell, and thus requires a mage's talents. Indeed, you could learn the spells required, if I cared to teach you.
I've never heard of magic like that before.
No? 'Tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one.
So shape-changing never actually came back in later games. It never becomes a magic specialization anymore, or even a spell, which is a little, kind of a little bit disappointing. I think that would be really, really cool. It would be neat for that to come back in Dragon Age 4, especially if Dragon Age 4 is what I expect it to be, which is very infiltration-y, very shadowy. Especially in Tevinter. And especially in Tevinter where magic is treated as kind of commonplace. And it's very strange. It's very different from what we're used to from the previous games. It would be neat for it to for shape-changing to come to have a comeback. By practitioners, you mean apostates, don't you?
Not all apostates use the forbidden blood arts. Maleficarum do, but to condemn all who do not fall under the circle's thrall for the sake of what might be is a dangerous path to walk.
That's
There
true.
are those who look on the word apostate as meaning freedom.
Okay, that's all I wanted to ask.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
Excuse me? Excuse me? Should I, Is this necessary for that dialogue option? What do you guys think here? Looking for some insight here. WizKid, what do you think? You're our expert in receiving bonks. I would probably otherwise go with 4. That would probably just make you angry, I think. Flattering, complimentary, funny. But, I don't know. I need WizKid's advice on this for in terms of awkward flirting. If that's what it is, I'm not even sure. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Is it like trying to be playful, or like, I don't... Sure, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it.
What a bizarre thing to say.
Oh, well, that's
but
true.
enough of such
That's true.
talk. Let
It
us
is.
proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
It is, in fact, a bizarre thing to say, and she approved slightly. 3 is a little too Alistair. She seemed to appreciate it somehow, though, which is a little odd, but... Well, too late. This is one of the... WizKid says this is one of those I didn't think I'd get this far situations.
I see it found some augmentation crystals. I was not even aware of you about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
Kevin says, ha, well, maybe it's just a tickle. WizKid says, my gut says tickle her, though. Yeah, of course it would. Just... I don't know, maybe this is bonk time, but I'm really not sure. Anyway, Shale. No, they're quite slimming.
It must be the vertical pattern it put them in. Did it know to do that? It must have. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Okie dokie, then. Cool. What's done?
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is unexpected.
Erica says it's because it comes from you and not the other idiot in the party. Fair enough. If that had come from Alistair, she probably would have set him on fire. Callow? You thought I was callow?
You sound surprised. You must have heard this before. You'll get over it. Eventually.
Why'd you come to Ferelden?
I was sent to be the eyes of the Antam. The Arishok asked, "What is the Blight?" By his curiosity, I am now here.
What's an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antam, the body of the Kunari.
So he's your king?
Kunari have no kings.
What do you have, then?
Little patience for endless questions.
Okay. Why would the Kunari care about the Blight?
Why do you?
It could destroy the world?
Do you think the Kunari live on some other world, then?
Okay, I guess. It's okay. So WizKid says, "Oh look, socialism. It's more than that." Okay, so the Kunari and the Kyun, their social order, the Kyun, their social and pseudo-religious but atheistic religious order, is such a bizarre pseudo-antagonist in this series, but I really like it. It is okay. So because Dragon Age is so Western, and it's so Western and almost pseudo-Christian in its outlook. The weird foreigner threat thing is the Kyun. It's not just communist, though. It's not just socialism. It's not just communism. It is this weird blending amalgamation of a kind of, I don't know, tasteful parody, I guess you'd call it. Like a tasteful parody of a little bit communism, a little bit Islam. Because of the whole dedication thing, the submission, right? Which is what Islam means, right? That, like, both of those together, and especially just sort of the cultural behaviors and a lot of the dress and such makes me think what Europeans would have thought of Middle Easterners in the Middle Ages, right? It's a very, very interesting sort of pseudo-antagonist culture. I like it as a foil to the Chantrian, as a foil to, civilization as we know it. And, I mean, civilization is not just the characters, as we know it, as we Westerners know it. It's very alien, and it represents the two major other, ideological social systems that have across various ages presented a threat to the West. It's neat. It's very well done. I have my doubts as to whether BioWare would have the balls to create something like this in current year. But it does look like the Kunari are going to be a major antagonist in 4. At least to some degree. It's funny how, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if it really comes up too much, but Sten is hella sexist. So basically, if you're playing a female, because I've played a female before in a previous playthrough of the game, playing a female, he questions why you are a warrior, right? Women are not warriors in his culture. There are very, very regimented sex roles under the Kyun, apparently, or I guess I should say gender roles under the Kyun. They wind up, interestingly enough, sort of retconning this by Inquisition. I'll talk about it briefly now and more when we get there in like a year. But when you talk to another Kunari, he points out that it's not your sex which determines your role. It's your role that determines your gender. Right? So if you're a warrior, you're a man. Even if you're a female. As far as the Kyun is concerned. Again, this is a retcon. This is definitely a change, because otherwise Sten would not be confused by, the warden being a woman. WizKid says, last time I heard you talk about it, I got the feeling you didn't like it. Yeah, no, I as a society, I detest the Kyun. It is one of, like I said, one of the best crafted antagonist cultures there is, because there's so much to dislike about it. But what's interesting about this is that they are essentially over time, whether this is due to retcons or whether this is due to social changes, which seem unlikely, given what we know about the Qun. But it seems like they're also coming to represent something like gender theory, which is really neat, given that the Qun represents basically an amalgamation of every major historical threat to the Christian West in history. Anyway, don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
When are you going to do that?
Never. I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the darkspawn waiting.
Okay.
As you wish.
No, that was weird. WizKid says, I've heard of that sort of thing in some Native American cultures. Allegedly, anyway, and I'm sure a lot of it has been conveniently invented by leftists. Or reinterpreted. More likely, I would think, reinterpreted. Yeah, even things like the third gender stuff and the two-spirit thing, I think largely, from what I can tell, and I'm not quite an expert on this, I've looked into it a little bit, a lot of it seems to be a weird reinterpretation in the sort of framework of sort of Foucaultian post-structuralism. Trying to find what we're already looking for somewhere where it wasn't there originally, but we're finding something that kind of looks like it. It's almost like how we Christians tend to see echoes and traces of the divine in other cultural ideas. It's the same kind of thing, which, because of course it is. It's an idolatrous ideology. Of course they're going to find their divine in other things.
Something on your mind?
Questions?
Of course.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So Templars use magic themselves?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
Have you hunted many mages?
No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. That was all I needed, too. I don't know how anyone could get through that. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that.
That's very different than what we experienced in our harrowing. Either it changes over time or geographically. Couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
That's horrible. I can't believe they could do that.
Well, they do it, and they feel perfectly justified. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective, or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away, either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
WizKid says, I agree. Definitely a misinterpretation, probably knowingly. Maybe, at least by some. Probably not universally, but at least by some. There's no way a primitive culture would conveniently birth something exactly like modern gender theory, postmodern. And yeah, you're right. I mean, they're looking for it, and therefore, of course, they find it. It's not. It's probably not intentional. But it is a kind of, at least a kind of confirmation bias, at least for some. Some are doing it intentionally, obviously.
here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the Crows, exactly?
Well, now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
Well, what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
Okay. Not gonna ask that. I think I understand.
As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Happy to have you along. Yeah, cool guy.
And here I am, happy to be had. Isn't it wonderful how things work out that way? Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the Crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Eventually I'm going to have to ask about Antiva. But for now, it is rapidly approaching midnight. So, I'm going to save for the evening. And I'm going to thank all of you very much for joining me this evening. It has been a good time. We've saved not 1, but 2 children from demons. We've encountered a golem. And we talked quite a bit about identity. We talked quite a bit about weird phenomenology and such. Unfortunately, I don't have too many resources on that off the top of my head, unless I can think of something. But again, afterwards, you'll find quite a few things that we have mentioned in the description. So, on that note, thank you again, like I've said. Welcome. Good thing, Kevin, you stayed awake. I'm proud of you a little bit. Anyway, so I'm less awake a little bit. I should finish my coffee. Anyway, thank you again. Like I said, thanks for joining me. We will be back once again on Monday, continuing in Mass Effect 3. We're going to finish up the Omega DLC, helping out Arya, and then we're going to be moving on to Rannoch to help the Quarians deal with the Geth, and then once again back Thursday right here, picking up where we left off. Probably going to stop by Denerim, and then go under the mountains to Orzammar. So, and of course, WizKid, welcome back. Thanks for coming. If you missed anything, feel free to stop back by and go rewatch through pieces and parts to fill you in what we might have missed. But otherwise, I guess that's all I have for tonight. So thank you one more time, and one more time at least. I think one more time, maybe 2 more times. Yeah, 2 more times. Merry Christmas. See y'all next time.